changes to the climate also contributed to the evolution and modified our genetic code. Look at the notices on that board. No one paid much attention to them, it looks like. Wiz should be around here somewhere, probably taking care of his guppos. A surge surf factory was one of the cleaner ways to make power, until the surf turned into goo and clogged it all up, that is. The power comes from turning the movement of the surf into surge sparks. Sometimes science is beyond belief. There are sure to be more tracks around here, maybe by the shore. Wuz isn't easy on the tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's good to see you again. He's Wiz. You might remember him from the old days when he let you try his octopod? Wiz remembers you were such a cheery kid, and he's glad to see that light hasn't faded from you, despite the years. But Wiz understands it was a long time ago, and memories get murkier the deeper you go. But says it helps to have friends with you to plumb those depths. It was a tragedy, but also sad that you chose to leave. It's a miracle you made it on the outside on your own. That land is harsh, they say. Wiz says our memory keeps things for us, preserves them until we are ready to face them again. He knows you've returned to face Lupa Lupin, and that confrontation is as inevitable as the tides. He's not surprised that the loss of your family could plunge you into the depths forever, but you've always been able to rise like a bubble to the surface, no matter what. He knows that though the tides of history may push you in one direction, you can always lay your own course. Ultimately, it's your choice. You were the one to be wronged and have lived with the consequences. He believes in consequence as it's a direct result of action.
There's a bright day coming!
Hey, that's going to get you burned!
The only one getting burned around here is you.
That stings.
Oh, do you want some first aid for that?
Asks if you ever think about freedom and whether any of us really has it. Did you make the decisions that brought you here, or are you just a pawn of fate? Glad to hear that. He only wishes he was that sure about himself. Amazed the world is going to continue on, but happy to hear it. Still so many things to invent. Impressed that you fought so hard to keep the world spinning. Thinks you were smart to join with the Myriad. They have a rainbow of ways to approach any problem. Says they're unified in the ways that matter. But that's not nearly as important as this. Wiz says that you should let the past dwell in the depths. But there's something else down there too, gnawing at the Tree of Life. He's named it the Merc Puff. This is why he's tinker-tonkering with the octopod. But the lid got stuck, so he needs a big enough tug twister to open it up and let you a-go-in. He can't leave the surge station, so you must help him find a tug twister. There's a wound-up mecha Fingro in the mecha stadium that still has one stuck on its back. Find it, and you'll find the tug twister. It's definitely made to lend a helping hand and do the heavy lifting. Toxanol records mention it as an automaton made for moving bionucleus matter into storage areas. Legend has it that activating the four of them together will form a band of your aura in the sky. Tell it to gallop. Here is the village called Diddlingdoo by those lucky enough to live there. Let's see. Move before it decides to have lunch. At various stages of life, we all become memories for others, and just seeing someone acts as a catalyst for the past to seep in again. Memory distortions are troubling. Illusions your mind creates to avoid the memories of being bullied as a kidling. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. I was wondering when you'd recall how to spring the automaton air gliders. You found a bric-brac that's not absolutely flat. Don't want to point a finger, but the Mecha Stadium is near here. Bullets everywhere. This could be the beginning of the end of everything. Gonna need a key of some kind. That's not opening on its own. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Yuck! Biohazard. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's it. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too.
Una rupocia è macho in
He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force won't do the trick. You need some...
None.
He agrees that it's an option if you want to break stuff, but in this case you want to keep things intact, so it won't leak once you get undersurf. He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out. He knows his old friend Choo-Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow. He stresses that you should come back as soon as you've retrieved the grease sprinkler. The Merc Puff is crunching bark by the minute. Wiz heard he's currently stranded at the end of the line, so it should be easier to track him down now compared to when he's running rails. You're in charge of that mount. Act like it. That's Punchy's place up in that little blimp. No better upgrade bench around. Let's see.
Levantou ele macho penendesse tem.
A deal to be proud of. You've reached the end of the line. Bet you can find Choo-Choo here. We're all heroes of our own stories, or so we hope. Let's see. Choo-Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do was follow the steel path. The rails might be getting rusty, but eventually they all converge on him. Claims rails are like rules. If you follow them the way you're supposed to, everything good in life can roll your way. Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track or look for a way to hit that switch? You seem like you're on the right track already. He just hopes you don't get sidetracked onto a darker path. Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be. Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another. If you could go back, would you switch tracks or keep chugging along the one you're on? Likes your sureness, the way you keep at it like a chug-chug with no way to reverse. Seems like the world came out of its rut and is chugging toward higher ground again. Can't thank you enough for hitting the brakes and working to turn the world chug around. But let's not get derailed. Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out, but sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station. As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo-Choo. He's been off track since the world started dying, but he's trained his mind to stay positive regardless of the situation. Says sometimes life runs off the rails, but it's always better when they're good and greased. He's convinced the tracks are like the paths our lives take, and you must deal with the outcome, even if you didn't lay them yourself. This time, though, he was sidetracked and needs a new wing nut to get back on track. Wing nuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any in-front chugger-chugger out there. The challenge is taking them off, so he's happy you're here to do it for him. Says he knew you would, like he knows the way the rails run. Looks like the control box handles need to be wheeled to buzz the wire. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Wired up and ready to go. You look civilized. Now you're covered. Ride like the wind. The Wing Nut Chug Tunnel. It goes on forever. It's more than a little scary down here. Emissive. Nice shot. Yuck! Biohazard. Sickening. Boom, boom. Made to be broken. Atomized. Top quality scrap in this piece. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You're a... Choo Choo says he knew you'd come through. If someone makes a stop at your station, it's for a good reason. But he understands no one gets their tracks greased for free. He'd be happy to part with his spare grease sprinkler, as he believes it's a great fit for any of your business that needs to be unstuck. He keeps it safe in a box on the handcart, in case of emergency. Yes, for something catastrophic, like something squeaky in need of greasing, or an ointment to ease the pain in these dark times in general. Choo Choo says you should help yourself to the grease sprinkler. It's a versatile tool from the bygone, a last of its kind, so don't let it go to waste. He's convinced you'll put it to good use, as there are lots of stuckies out there that need greasing to open. Seems glad you think so. You're on the right rail. Choo Choo says he can't wait to get out of this place. Has plenty... Wonders what kind of good you'll get up to today. You shouldn't worry about smashing up the box. Choo Choo has no use for it now. Choo Choo says he feels strongly about helping his next, just like you did for him. He's convinced there was a bigger reason you met. Sometimes the wrong train will take you to the right place. He believes you've got what it takes to make a difference. He's witnessed it himself. Says he can't see the end of your rails, but if you grease them up good, he hopes you'll enjoy an easier ride. Choo Choo's thrilled you found the Ark. Just imagine how much faster than a chug that thing must be, and no rails needed. Needs no rails, no roads, nothing but air. The world's on the mend, so no need to leave it. But just think of all the places the Ark could take you. Says he's happy to see the Ark in your hands. Knows you'll go great places with it and do some good. Wonders who you might call aboard the Ark with you.
So, what we have here is an opportunity.
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself.
If you want to go quickly...
But you know you can't go on without...
I think we can finally agree on something. It is better.
After spending a life on the rails, he's eager to ride the skies with you. Just let him pack his rollerboard, and he'll roll aboard. Choo Choo says he's ready to pack up and leave. He's picked up a thing or two over the years. Fair enough, all around. You're not staying here for long, so don't get too used to it. Wiz says that there's no plan to confront the Merc Puff until the octopod is properly armed.
antika urvaya unara.
He's happy to tell you that the cannon he's been working on now just needs ammunition.
Avarinanto vita penia.
He says his old friend Boom makes all things that go bang.
Nan uyom cheva.
There's a rumor that some of Boom's pyro sticks shot off and are out there roaming free.
Avarinanto vita penia. Enjai vivachineva.
You should keep an eye on the horizon for pyros. If you're fast, you have a shot at catching some of them before they go off.
Igovante vaka.
He's a peculiar little fellow that's been fiddling with splodies since he was a kidling. It runs in his blood. Their family recipes pack a punch. That's a bang plant, where toxanol used to make all sorts of splody things before it blew up in their faces. Everything is at stake. Get out of here. Molecule. That looks like an unbanged pyro stick on the loose. Better catch it before it goes off. You could try living in harmony with what you can't see. The pyro sticks will cause a bang, but targeting is on you. At least now you have a chance to hurt the Merc Puff where it counts.
Gamuga.
You should aim for the head. That's the Merc Puff's weak spot. Thinking doesn't seem to be his strong point. Wiz has been working on another cannon, but instead of pyro sticks, it squirts guppos. Scaly distractions for anyone with an appetite disorder, and irresistible for the Merc Puff in particular. Seems the best way to find guppos is go talk to Gil. He has a natural sonar and knows where the guppos sub the surf. This means you'll have to go visit Gil at Burblebottom. Find Gil and he'll be able to tell you where to find the Guppos.
Minha veia.
Guppos are lively beings and they're fast too. They're here, there and everywhere. Or at least they used to be. Whoa, smell that? Biohazard nearby. That there is a fume foundry where toxinol processed go juice. Gonna need a key of some kind. Let's see. This is Burblebottom, residence of Gil. Happy to finally get to meet you. He's seen a lot of things wash up on his miniature shore, but nothing as exciting as you. Figures it's impossible. As bad as the air might be, the goo is even worse. It must have been upstream only to get to this point in your histo-future. But which way are you going now? With the flow or against? It's crazy hard to flipper against the surf, but you can't save the world if you let it sweep you away. Either way, it's a shame the surf has gotten so nasty. Thinks life is like trying to ride a wave. You need to pick the right one, but you don't really know which one that is until you're on top of it. Better to ride a wave than let the perfect one pass you by. Wonders who would want to. The right wave takes you where you want to go. Can't imagine how wonderful it's going to be to surf on gooless goo. The world is going to live. Can't thank you enough for fighting against the goo. Happy you ride alongside the Myriad. They bring a real shine to everything they work with. Thinks that's an excellent point. Riding is life. Work is not nearly as fun. But none of that's nearly as important as enjoying the day, right? He never drank from this pond because of the disgusting things done there. Even the fish stopped drinking here after the pollution made the surf mucked and the air blocked his gills. He figures the Tree of Life isn't drinking either. Or, well, that's not true. He said it does drink, as it has no other choice. It's a tree, but it's forced to drink poison. Claims the surf is poison now. Anything that drinks it becomes poison too, including the Tree of Life. His friend Wiz needs Guppos for one reason or another, and Gil is ready to point you in the right direction. But here, you're only going to find dead ones. He's pretty sure Wiz wants them alive. Well, at least the ones that aren't already rotting. If you head in the right direction, you'll find a clean enough bit of surf to snag yourself some Guppos. Then you can get them to Wiz for whatever he has in mind. He doesn't have any Guppos, and Wiz is particular about the kind he needs.